Data analytics gives you the advantage of getting to answer questions in a faster time. In esports, you have a topic where all those technologies can be applied with an actual great purpose.
The top dog in Group A has already been decided, and now in this series, we're trying to figure out who else is going to make it into that winner's portion of the bracket. First game in the books. We got a lot to talk about. I'm joined on the desk by Nahaz and my good friend, good friend, Kyle. Thanks for being here, Kyle.
Onwards. Thanks. Yeah, glad to be here.
Thank you. All right, let's actually talk about what happened in that matchup. I know one of the big turning points in your mind, Nahaz, is that 18-minute mark. The fight that actually happens there starts to skew the fight in a very, very particular direction.
So I thought early on in the game, I mean, it was basically what we talked about in the draft, was that the pressure was going to be on TNC to continue to make plays. Side of EHOME has these two flash farming hyper carries in the Luna and the SF. And that 18-minute river fight where EHOME just kind of looked a little bit directionless. They walk up, they put a tombstone down on high ground. Faith Beyond just sort of walks up as his Beastmaster, roars somebody and walks away, and they wait in the river to get three-man ravaged. That was where TNC, I felt like, had a window. But unfortunately, in the 5 or 6 minutes after that, the defense from EHOME was really, really good. The Shadowblade Beastmaster just walking through the jungle on the Radiant side of the map to cover the two cores farming. They eventually did get an SF pick off a four-man smoke, but it wasn't quite enough to be able to put the kind of pressure TNC needed.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I felt like Gabby underperformed a bit. He just didn't look confident. He had a couple blink-ins.
Decision-making.
There was a couple blink-ins that just didn't make sense to me, and he would end up just getting right-clicked down. And he gave away his life at the top tier 2, gave away his life at the Roche fight. It just wasn't the greatest performance for him. I like the EHOME draft as well. It's just easier to execute. It feels like at a certain point, you're going to just be strong. You have Beastmaster, or you got double BKB on your cores. They pick up the AC. All you got to do is right-click, you win that one fight, and the entire base becomes yours.
Yeah, and I think the ease of execution, I feel like we overuse a little bit, but I absolutely feel like it's the right thing here. It's just it's one hyper carry against two, and just again for people that are a little newer to the game, the strength of AM that he gets 6 slotted faster than anybody else is also his biggest weakness. That once he gets 6 slotted, where does he go from there against the two farming hyper carries on the other side? And you just sort of saw that once TNC was not going to be able to take a Rax by 35 minutes, they're just in big trouble in this match.
No, I can agree with that.
One of the other big things that you were talking about, Nahaz, as well, was that Roche fight that happens down the line, and we definitely need to put a spotlight on that.
Yeah, I hope I was waiting a little bit because I think we're going to see it a second here in the highlights. That the 28-minute Roche fight was really where EHOME, it felt like after that fight, this is it right here, where the initial engagement actually looked pretty good. Luna is forced to blow the Eclipse a little bit early, but man, the sustain coming out in this fight.
It's just such a strange maneuver because AM is in the pit just hitting a tombstone, ends up getting roared after counterspell goes down, and that's just like something you're not going to see a miracle make. Like, your counterspell is down, you're in the pit, you're in vision, you're playing against Lion Beastmaster. He gets roared, then hexed, he's dead, Roche is dead, and the game's blown open by EHOME. Like, you just can't make these sort of errors. And if TNC has a problem, it's what we just saw. Their decision-making, their communication, whatever. This was another issue. He blinked in on top of the Undying, and then counterspell goes down and he dies.
Both the timing and the location of those blinks in these fights is just a little bit puzzling. I got to give you credit, though, Kyle. You were right about Armel. Armel was a stun on Rubik at the tail end of that last fight. He stole Eclipse. If the initial engagement in the Roche pit had gone a little bit more in TNC's favor, that's a huge play.
Yep, he balled out. I think he did incredibly well. Like, that was him again, you know, the Ravage into his double stun because he steals the Lion stun. He got Finger later in this fight. Like, he did a great job, but I just felt like Gabby hung him out to dry a couple times. And TNC, they just have an issue closing out games, and they're so talented, they're so skilled, but when they get put up against teams that have a better understanding of Team Dota, they look lost. And if they can just sharpen that up, like, that's what'll take them from top 8 to possibly a top 14.
I'm gonna go a little bit farther. I feel like they need a stronger coaching presence, maybe, because this is a team that is so good, but there are mistakes in Dota, and then there are mistakes. And they make mistakes, like some of these AM blinks, and they don't correct them from game to game. And that's it's disappointing because this team clearly has the talent to play with even the top teams in this tournament, I feel.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You're right.
And they're not going to have an opportunity to make those mistakes again in groups, too. If they come in here, they're not able to take this next one, they go straight to the lower portion of the bracket, and that is probably the least forgiving place that you can be to be making any of those mistakes. So they don't have much of a timeline already to be making corrections on the fly here.
And it's an unforgiving tournament because it's not just about group stage. It's the fact that we play this all on one day.
Yeah.
And this is your day of Dota. This is going to be their 8th game? No, 7th game. And, you know, they're hoping to force an 8th, and that's a lot, you know.
Yep,
it's
for
a
sure.
long day for all these teams. A lot of Dota, and it gets confusing because you start to forget, like, what you've even played. Not just that, now there's, you know, this other group. What are they playing? What's good? Are we losing because of our heroes, because of our items, our lanes, our draft? Dota's got so many damn variables, it's near impossible to actually track and put a finger on what are we doing wrong and right when you have a day of play plus study to do it.
That's absolutely right, and it goes even farther than that. It really hurts when we talk about playing with a stand-in, right? That we're not try not to harp on too much, but that hurts your ability to make these kinds of adjustments on the fly, right? Most coaches, like in the NFL or NBA, can figure out what went wrong after the game. The great ones can figure it out at halftime. That's what we need to see from TNC. They need to be able to make the adjustments during the day of play.
Yeah, and you talk about all these variables, and then some of the critiques are just actually just on the map, coming down to those blinks and things like that. So finding all of those variables, tweaking them, and then also just making sure mechanically you're doing the right thing does seem like a tall order here. What do you want to see when we actually jump into the second game of the series?
I don't want to see this Animage third picked. I feel like that same draft, but they have a Phantom Lancer. I'm way more confident. I think they're going to win the game. It's just that the way AM is played, it's more of a, it's like this elusive core. You survive through, you know, shenanigans and sneakiness and blinking here, then blinking there. Give Gabby something he can just play around with, you know, more of a pressure type, like toy with your enemies, and don't be in a position where it's like, oh shit, I messed up, I'm just dead now.
A skirmisher like PL, where Animage has to immediately, you're committed or you're not. PL can afford to play around the edges of the fight.
Yeah, especially when you have like Tide and Rubik. Just personal opinion, I just think he plays the hero better as well.
You agree, though, that it just comes down to that hero selection for him, Haas?
I mean, again, I think it's one of those things in Dota where you can usually get away with one flaw. You can't get away with two. Yep. And if you have a draft that's a little suboptimal, you have to execute it that much better. That's where this ease of execution point comes back in. TNC put them in a place where that AM's decision-making, particularly the way the game went, had to be perfect, and it just wasn't.
Yep. So, and just to change topics completely here, okay, before we get into the next draft, I wanted to tell you about what the real thing that makes Dota feel weird right now.
Okay.
And it's that you asked about why are these value items so good?
Yeah.
Because what punished you for buying multiple Wraith Bands, multiple Null Talismans, was that while they were value for your gold, they were incredibly slot inefficient.
Slot inefficient, right. The 7th slot.
I'm watching this game. Lich has 2 Bracers. Lion has 2 Null Talismans. When I was playing support, I didn't have the slots for that.
Yeah.
God forbid you were back in the Cretaceous when people like Merlini were still around, right? Wards were split. You have 6 item slots. Just 6. You don't have a TP slot.
No, the
you don't have a
7th
TP.
slot. And poor Chen, right? They give Chen recall at the same time that they give everybody a 7th slot for TP. It's like, oh, come on.
That's what changes the game, because all of a sudden, if I'm a support, my wards are stacked, that's fine. But let's say I'm playing against, I need Dust. I can backpack it. Maybe I want to hold a smoke for my team. I can backpack it. I don't need a teleport anymore. I have 3 item slots that are now free for whatever the hell I want.
Right.
And that's what makes the game feel so strange, because everyone is allowed to be as gold efficient as they want because they never run out of slots. Ever.
I mean, it's
like
a really powerful point. And it's a cumulative effect of changes over a lot of patches that in pubs were great quality of life changes, but at the highest level of Dota, you're absolutely right. It makes everybody that much more gold efficient.
And we were discussing like the law of unintended consequences. I think every one of those changes was good. Having obs and sentries and stacks that couldn't be combined was kind of silly. But you know, now they're together. Now TPs are here. You have too many slots to work with now, and supports are suddenly faced with, you know, if you have 1,000 gold, you can suddenly just buy whatever stats you need. Like, there's no decision making anymore. There's no idea that you have what you need at all times. It makes the game so much more fun to play, but it also accelerates the pace.
Let's talk about the actual draft.
Yeah, we don't have to be abstract at all anymore. We have some of these picks actually appearing before us right now. What are we seeing here?
Kyle, is there a better open in Dota right now than Tuskwitch?
Oh.
Go. I cannot
I'd say one that maybe like Earth Spirit Beastmaster.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of.
Elder
Titan.
If there was an answer to that, it was Beastmaster and somebody, or for a Chinese team, Elder Titan and somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure there is one. This first phase Visage.
And it's a bit interesting. And again, this could be what EHOME's just so predictable. This always scares me about teams because you leave them tiny and you ban Earth Spirit. Well, they've picked Tusk, Earth Spirit's banned, Elder Titan's banned. You know they're picking tiny. I'm surprised they didn't go Coddle because that's what they've done 4 times in a row.
But the thing is, right, predictable is a term that I think you have to use carefully. Do you remember scrimming wings?
Yeah.
You could have known exactly what they were going to pick, and you haven't played against a Wings lineup until you played them playing that lineup. That's the thing.
That's the worst example. Wings was the most unpredictable team ever.
Let me give you an example of what I just said, okay? Most teams get punished super heavily for this Visage pick, okay? EHOME, one thing that they're doing right now better than any other team in Dota is rotating in and out of these tri-lanes early on in the laning phase. And that makes a hero like Visage first phaseable, where it wouldn't be for a lot of other squads.
All right, that's a very strong opinion. And I don't really know how to respond to that one. I mean,
sorry.
Wait, are you supposed to say that's one man's opinion?
Yes.
I realize.
Well, I could have, but I didn't want to overuse it. I figured I gave you that line. It's yours
I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I said it.
Yeah, I was looking at it. You was taking notes on what you were saying earlier. It was
that's bad. Don't do
I think
that.
it was about the laning phase. He just wrote a smiley face. Actually, it was more of a frown. I think it was his emotional response.
Yeah, it was very
to,
sad.
That lecture.
Yeah, I have it here somewhere on my receipts.
What's your score on Rate My Professor? I bet it's pretty high.
The funniest thing was, so I'm teaching this term for the first time in a while. I checked Rate My Professor just for lulz. There was somebody that the day after the situation this summer posted like a note about how I, as a professor, was not a fan of elaboration. It was pretty next level. It was pretty next level.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Now, we've moved along quite far in this draft. How's it actually coming along in your mind, Kyle?
I gotta say, I feel like EHOME's got the edge just because I think that Undying is just such a good hero, especially in their hands. It's something Zhao 8 always has understood really well. I think China specifically as a region just knows how Undying functions. It's super good against the TNC supports, and while you could say Terrorblade counters it, the damage amp is so insane, and now you've picked Underlord into him. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. It's mostly to counter the Visage. You can get a Crimson, start
look, didn't we... Look, it's funny because I think a lot of what you're saying is right, but at the same time, TNC has kind of done everything that we asked them to in this draft. They've drafted a much clearer and easier to execute lineup. Their tempo is easy to understand. Their lanes are going to be simple to execute. Their item builds are going to be very clear and straightforward. They're going to be able to hit those timings.
You know what they did? They just copied the exact 4 heroes in the same order that VP did to beat them.
Yeah.
The series before this.
And it worked.
That's the strat.
Well.
So you're saying you like that they have thrown their identity out the window.
No.
And just done what VP did.
I think if VP had done something completely crazy outside the box that you don't feel confident in executing as a team, then yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. But this is a 4 hero. Like, of these 4 picks, only Underlord is maybe a little bit off meta. I mean, these are 4 heroes that every team in Dota is scrimming with right now.
I'll give you that.
Like,
I'm just saying, like, it just...
I think EHOME has the harder to execute lineup in a vacuum.
So you're saying, like, let's say you have your star student, right, and you grade his homework. He gets 100. And then I submit mine, and I've plagiarized everything. I still deserve 100 because all my answers are correct? That doesn't make sense to me.
Sure, you deserve 100 and getting your ass reported to...
Well, you can't... I obviously changed words. In Dota, it's different. You know, copying's fine. Let's pretend this is a school
We
that
have just
allows it.
taken action against the student that you reported.
Really? Oh, okay.
no-
No, I
There's
don't
no
get that
actual
pop.
student.
I don't get that pop-up box, Professor and Kyle. You only get that in Dota. I'm sorry.
They're not ripping a Hail Mary pass though out of the playbook, is what Nahaz is saying.
No.
They're
Oh,
this seems to be a
Well,
layup.
This is, man, you're really not going to do yourself any favors. Our viewers don't
They
understand
actually
sports
hate.
either.
They hate sports ball.
You did
yeah.
sports first. I don't
I
even know what
did.
a
I did.
sports
That
is.
is my fault.
Yeah, that's more like it.
But see,
you
they're
know what's
like-
great? What are the fans?
What?
I don't know. Like what?
It's Dota fans. They don't like anything but Dota.
That's true. Sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Uh,
What were you going for there?
I don't know. I guess just Dota. Yeah, I literally had nothing.
We could talk about auto chess.
I could talk
guess.
about that.
No, don't get mad at that.
They'll get mad at auto chess?
Well, yeah, it's not pure. It's Dota. It's not Dota, dude. You gotta realize.
What are the lanes here for EHOME?
Good question. It's gonna be Medusa mid.
Yeah.
They're gonna do exactly. What do you mean? You're the one who said they like to rotate this Visage and tri-lane and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They also did this earlier today.
It's called a discussion point, Kyle. I mean,
We're running out of time.
All right, fair
We gotta
enough.
get to the answers, the facts, not this fake news.
Oh my God.
By the way, you guys should all tweet about politics to Nahaz. He really enjoys getting in Twitter discussions. I think last pick, TNC, OD and the Tinker were banned. What's the next best? Razor. We saw LGD use this to great effect. Well, not really, not this stream, but like it happened. It's a great counter pick to the Dusa. I just hope.
No.
I hope he has a game. It is an RML hero. It's a lane dominator. He knows how this functions. I compare him a lot to Thompson in my mind as like his kind of unique play style, and like he's like a thirst for blood, but he's also disciplined enough to carry games. Like,
But what's your?
it could work.
Like, what's your identity as a team, as TNC? I mean, Armel's your playmaker, man. I don't like seeing him on a Razor.
I don't either.
It's a defensible pick, right? Versus what was on the board, but
Yeah, and and that's exactly how I feel about Thompson, where you're terrified of this guy and the heroes he might play, and then you see him on a Razor, and you're like, oh, thank God. You know,
All right,
he
all
can't
right,
mess
yes,
with
exactly,
me. Like, it's not a Monkey
exactly.
King, it's not a Pugna or a Timbersaw or a TA. You know what it does. It's just gonna walk at you and link you, but you can't be a superstar. It's like the reason Sumail switched to offlane with that like the EG lineup like 6 months to a year ago, because he's all of a sudden playing DK every game,
So-
and you don't want Sumail playing DK. It's a waste of his talent.
because we have to throw to casters eventually.
Yeah.
I like TNC through the first 4 picks. I think the Razor is a pick where TNC is going to have a strong early game. They'll make one mistake at 25 minutes and EHOME wins.
I think that while some of what he said is right, he's wrong. TNC is going to win because every team that wins the first game loses the next 2.
Oh.
And I believe in Armel more than you. And it's just, if you don't get screwed by Tombstone, I think TNC takes this.
Okay, so we have a split desk yet again. They're still getting that match ready, but we can already start to hear a little bit of a disagreement here. But what do you think now that you've actually heard what Kyle has to say? You stand by your point?
Absolutely. I think that this game on paper is a bit closer to me than the first game because I think TNC has a lineup that they're going to feel very confident with. I mean, I think they're going to get to a point where they wish Armel was on something a little bit bigger impact than Razor, but I think they have the answer to this EHOME early game that's given a lot of teams problems.
Okay, and now we're actually going to get to see who is going to take this one. It can decide the series. We're hopping right in to our final series of the day.
Thank you so much. We got TNC versus EHOME. The craziness on the panel is going to end now, but the craziness in your hearts is only starting. As it's myself, Lyrical and Fogged. My man.
Hello, hello. I'm clicking on heroes. I'm looking at items. We don't have anything out of the norm. Tim's has 3 mangoes on the tusk. Sometimes you see like maybe a little bit more of like a salve. Maybe he'll have like the 2 tangos salve and a mango, but he's gone for just very heavy on making sure that he can have mana always so he can make rotations. So EHOME, I am a big fan of Faith Beyond. Honestly, this guy is very, very good. I also absolutely love his Tiny. He might be my favorite Tiny player. He did that build at the, what was it, the Miner, right? The Octarine build with the Avalanche cooldown. I know that's way later down the line, but he is such an aggressive player, and I think it's going to be a real treat to watch what he can do on this Tiny. Although, this game can look like it can be pretty tough for a Tiny.
He made Darkseer look aggressive. He was just running down the Juggernaut earlier. It was crazy.
He's crazy, man.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see him. You mentioned that avalanche cooldown down to 3 seconds. And it does look like already they're trying to set up right now Tianming in the mid lane on this Lion, seeing if he can maybe find a courier snipe.
Yep. They know Razor is like that lane dominator. Shardusa, you have like that little bit of better base damage and stuff, but you are very slow versus Razor. Razor's 290, but you're 280. You can easily get those links up on you, so they want to give a little bit of an advantage to the Deuce at the start.
Can you hear him dancing in the trees, though? That's the real question.
He cannot.
Looks like Ego going to wrap around here, as well as Tims and Ninja Boogie are already in the area, seeing if somebody's going to walk downhill, and they will spot out the Visage, but looks like he's just a bit too far away to try and make a go on him.
So there's that move that we've seen EHOME do quite a bit. They put that Visage in the safe lane, or they just rotate him around depending on what's going to be. And yep, Faith Beyond gets a 1v1 again. Still staying in mid, looking for this courier. Tianming.
And it feels like TNC might have an inkling that this is happening as Tim's trading hits, trying to bring it down. Why? And they will.
Tag team.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, tag team when you have 2 ranged heroes hitting on top of it as well, and you've got Frost Shield as well, keeping them slowed between those hits.
At some point, it's like, Lion, you got to come help me, man. I need a little bit of assistance.
He's still there.
Maybe he could like try and gank Armel at level 1?
He's probably looking, and he's like, Armel's sitting at 200 HP. He's used his tangle. He's got to bring a salve soon.
Yeah.
He's got to be thinking that to himself. And, I mean, the salve is going to start coming. He's probably telling his teammate, too.
Oh, he's going to leave right now.
No.
You can't do it. Oh, that hurts.
He waited a minute and a half.
Oh, wait, no. Or is he running at Razor? He's running at Razor.
Maybe he wants to get a kill.
It could be. Meanwhile, Y also taking some damage. It looks like he is going to dive underneath the tower in the tier 1 mid. Is Y almost going to go down? He sets the salve. They end up walking away with Armel, and he's going to bring the salve out to him, too.
He just lived 1 attack.
Oh,
they almost got him. They even used the snake. They did the stun, and they used the snake on the range creep, so the second bounce hits the Razor, and he had a Fairy Fire, ends up being able to live out of that.
Jeez.
So a lot of time spent there by Tianming.
To no avail.
No, and his Visage is suffering because of it now. As well as Innocence, who again,
oh my
they're
God,
throwing the tip on him.
I mean, this is Undying. Normally you think about this hero being so tanky and does have still the regen from the 3 mangoes, but it's not enough. They end up bringing him down, although Ninja Boogie will lose his life afterwards. So 3 kills so far in the early goings of this, as Razor was able to dodge away from one of those kills. And in spite of getting ganked early on, he's top of the CS right now in the mid lane.
Yep. This is like we were saying, like you're a Razor versus a Dusa, you're gonna get that link. You just have 10, 11 movement speed, everything counts in that mid matchup.
And now Tianming comes back up top and he goes down. I mean, God, Tusk just provides so much in these early goings.
Tusk and Lich. There's a reason that these heroes are either banned or first picked, because just the power that they can give in both defensive and aggressive potential. Because their spells they do both. The Snowball can be provided as defensive when he gets it, and Frost Shield is, both.
And it feels like EHOME were thinking to themselves, okay, you know, why Innocence is going to be able to stay alive longer? He's this big, bad Undying, and it's not happening. They're getting ran over and over again. Ego is going to go down. Innocence looks like he will escape because Tag Team runs out. But every couple of seconds, because of this low cooldown on Tag Team, they're dying.
Yep.
On Rior. Okay, he's going to be able to back away. Hits the salve.
I think they're going to need some big stuff at Faith Beyond in this early game, because their top lane is going very rough. I mean, Visage has 1 last hit. Mid lane, it's Razor leading the way. So, yeah, Faith Beyond. He's really going to be the one to bring it together for his team as top just continues.
Dude, every time.
Well, they just can't stand. They can't do anything to this Tusk. He's got 10 stick charges, too. That time spent by the Lion in the mid lane, he spent a minute and a half there.
He's only had to use 1 mango. He keeps killing him.
And Armel, constantly, because, you're versus Dusa. Dusa's so slow. You're going to get, like, half of your link timing off, and that's more than enough.
So put this in the more macro sense for me. How detrimental is it to have your Visage this low last hits this early on?
He's level 2 at 4 minutes. This hero thrives at getting an early level 6 and just trying to punish. It's really, really, really problematic for EHOME right now. It's pretty much just the Tiny having a good time. The supports are shut down entirely. The Visage's game is already so crippled. And there's a Tower Blade that's absolutely free farming in your face. It's not like you're getting trade kills on this Tower Blade at all. Gabby is 100% free farm.
They saw the rotation by the Lion there in the bottom lane as well. We saw the Arcane Rune pass by. Looks like TNC now are going to maybe make a play for the Bounty Runes as Tims heads over that direction. And as soon as they move that direction, EHOME have to back out. And already they've moved away to the jungle.
They like can't contest this top region like at all. This top lane is a total mess. The only way that EHOME can fight this is if they bring one of the other cores. And the Dusa is not really one of those rotating cores. It has to be, like we were mentioning, Faith Beyond. He's got to be that big playmaker.
Oh my god. And it doesn't stop. The Frost Shield is there. Innocence looks like he is maybe going to die yet again, although the Grave Chill making it work for him. Needs another punch and he will find it.
That was a long-range punch there. Even popped the mango. I thought he was out. Mid lane, Faith Beyond makes the move.
Armel, this is a big kill for them, and as you said, Faith Beyond needing to make plays, he does it.
Yeah. He's got to be fast with them, though, because he doesn't want to leave bottom too long either. So make the play, go back down there. And this top tower is just going to have to get sacked. Visage it's a level 2 Visage at almost 6 minutes.
Yeah, the pace of this game is not going to allow EHOME to catch back up easily, it feels like, at least for that Visage. Yeah, Jesus, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Now, bottom lane now, going on to Tiny, the lone bright spot. Oh, excuse me, not on the Tiny. It's onto the Underlord, and they're going to be able to find the kill. So Tiny is able to make the good play.
Yep. All right, Faith Beyond, like we mentioned, he just has to do so much work. Has to this game. Level 638 Tiny with the phase boots, top 2 net worth. The Deuce is not doing bad though. ASD, it's not like he's like super shut down. It's just he had a disadvantage in the mid lane, and now it's a Deuce up. Gonna go jungle. We'll catch up. It's just the Visage. Will the Visage be able to catch back up is the question.
Yeah. Well, and EHOME do have the type of heroes that can find kills on Terrorblade in the early goings also, like level 6 on Lion when that eventually comes out.
Yeah.
It can be good stuff.
Tiny's got more than enough burst. Yeah. Even just like the Soul Assumption. We see the Ego is actually holding skill points too. He's just got 2 points spent right now. So saving to see if an opportunity comes. Maybe he can throw a Soul Assumption for a kill. If not, he'll just go for that usual Gravekeeper.
But it is still continuing to be an issue as 45 and 21 denies on the Terrorblade. 7 minutes in, it's a 3,000 gold lead.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. You got to deny. Did. He's doing it. Uh-oh. Tims. Lion is there. If this kill goes their way, Tims is fine.
Yeah, he's got a bracer. He's tanky. He's just going back in now. Armel's here.
Oh, God. And a lot of TNCs in the area. They're taking away a lot of damage. Faith Beyond, seeing if he can bring down that Razor in time. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes. They get that kill. Now, Gabby, maybe a bit too far forward as well. Is EHOME going to make this work? They're going to start to get the damage back from Dusa, but great shards.
Oh, that was excellent there by Tims. Got to be careful, especially on that Shrine. Like, Shrine's probably not the place you still want to take too much of a fight when you don't have all your heroes there or meta available. And Faith Beyond, he knows his role. He knows what he needs to do in this game. We keep mentioning, right? Every time there's a fight that he can get to, he has to make the move. He's getting himself some runes like almost every time too. Gets the Arcane earlier, now has a regen. Ninja Boogie will probably die here.
Easy peasy kill. So that regen and 1,200 gold on the Tiny now. Feels like Blink could be a pretty good option there. Sometimes you do run into issues, obviously.
Oh, gets the courier as well.
All right.
Faith Beyond's just doing everything.
Faith Beyond the player.
He's like, guys, you need gold? All right, I'll kill courier. Oh, you need me to help the team? All right, I'll kill them. All right, what next? And he's just looking to hunt because he's got full mana from that regen rune. So that's gonna give a good amount of breathing room to EHOME, even though they did get their jungle invaded during all that, and there is wards placed. So now they are watching the Medusa farming.
Oh, this is a big wraparound here if they can find it. So they bring in the Lion and the Visage. Getting the extra experience would be huge, and Charlie looking for that tossback. Doesn't find the tossback. And Rior might be able to escape now as Ninja Boogie is in the area, but it looks like no. The Soul Assumption, the extra right clicks, that's more than enough. And Ego gets the kill.
I like that Ego's actually just like, screw it. I'm just going to come to these type of fights, these type of plays, just so I can get the levels. Because they're such high levels now. Look how much he gets when he gets a kill. He was level 2, what, a couple minutes ago? Shows up in the top fight, shows up down here. Now pretty much has that level 6 finished up.
And what else are you going to do as a Visage? You can't jungle.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, definitely the play to make. And he has a long road to go to catch back up. Below the Tusk, barely above the Lion.
But he gets, he hits a pretty strong peak point when he gets hits 6 and that Dominator. Yeah. He's very good versus the majority of the heroes on the side of TNC.
things starting to come together a little bit for your EHOME here.
Yeah.
Gabby is getting towards his Yasha. Does have level 8 already and top of the net worth. And suddenly it's not feeling quite so insurmountable. Yeah.
Gabby, you can see how far he's like pushed up farming because of those deep wards they've placed. They pretty much have like all the information in the world on the side of TNC to know where EHOME is right now.
And EHOME get 3 bounties.
They do. There's quickly diminishing that gold lead as well as that experience lead, which were 4,000 gold-ish and 2,000 experience-ish. It's now ticked down quite a big margin. And yeah, Faith Beyond. Probably, like you said, the Blink Dagger, saving up the 2K. Hasn't queued it up yet, but it's what you more likely imagine. And another Arcane Rune. So he is really, he's really getting some good RNG on this bottom rune.
Yeah, it's been top tier.
Yeah.
I mean, hypothetically, he could go like a Shadow Blade or something too, maybe, if he wanted to like try and scale more. I feel like they've kind of stopped the bleeding a little bit in a way.
I think this is a Blink game.
Okay.
I think he wants to be the one to like get like a toss back or start the fight, like something like that. I hope we see a fun like rift and he tosses the guy away from the rift.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping for something like that from it. But yeah, EHOME, they've really found their footing now. This Visage is now able to actually push up forward, has the gloves of haste, like we said, almost that dominator. And they're looking to put pressure on this tower. They've got a glyph. They have a wave, they have a catapult, they glyph the wave to make sure they can push versus that Underlord.
Look at this. He ate through the tree there, so the Underlord is still sitting in this area and has 2 points in the pit. If people TP into this, it's still such a hard fight to take. But they're going to slow it down a little bit. The pit goes, and Faith Beyond jumps in. Rior just runs back the other way. Okay, Faith Beyond's kind of in an awkward spot now. What is happening here?
He's got a blink up in a second.
Is he going Armel?
He's going in.
Avatar's finger comes out immediately. He's gone. They drop down the tombstone now. And it looks like Rior just needs to run away. So the juke ends up not paying off, actually, as they will lose the Razor and eventually just take the tower.
Gabby gets some space, at least in that top lane, continue to pressure forward onto that tier 2 top. But yeah, EHOME bring everyone, almost everyone, make sure they can get it as the Dusa continues to jungle. ASD level 11. Just able to sit there. Nope. They had wards watching the Dusa farm, but they have not been able to make a move to actually invade and take EHOME's jungle over. And look at that. 1K gold lead now from EHOME. Just from these little moves.
For the Tiny. Another big rune.
Another one. Oh my goodness.
And now he's moving into position and still has it not popped as of yet. Shard's going to catch Faith Beyond. He might get caught there in a pit again. No, he's able to walk away. How's this initiation look? They could go for a toss-back play like you were talking about, but doesn't look like they're going to go for it. But it's EHOME now in the lead.
Yeah. And look at Ego bottom. Putting pressure on the tower, forcing a reaction.
Looks like he's going to have that Helm of the Dominator finished off now. 12, 13 minutes.
That's not bad. It's not fantastic, but he's ahead of the Underlord, and he was ahead of the Underlord in farm before that tower died.
Yeah. Big plays all around after a disastrous laning stage, and now TNC the ones that are going to need to figure out, okay, what do we do at this point? I mean, play around the TB seems like the most likely option. Do they need more items before they start to group up, do you think?
Yeah, probably. But they don't want this to happen. Look at this Medusa. Oh my god. There is a lot of stacks here and a tombstone to ensure that they will all die.
Yeah, that is really scary. I mean, you see here lane creeps, but
look at that neutrals.
And it's going to keep going up right now.
Yeah.
I haven't even finished off the biggest Ancients as of yet.
And they're still, look at this bottom. Like, EHOME have 3 heroes positioned down around this tier 2. They're pressuring this tower. This is big moves for them. TNC not really making much moves in the last few minutes. After having that like blunder bottom, it's been EHOME all over.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to poke this top tower here. Then we've seen Armel, he's gone for like just some stat items. I think, what is that, the drum that's coming out too? Yeah, just tread 2 wraiths and drum, just some type of tank ability, because we saw an Avatos with a finger and
he's done.
Razor's just gone.
Medusa moves in. Starts to beat into Tim's a little bit, but really it's just to finish off farming here on these stacks, and now a 2,000 gold lead for EHOME. It doesn't matter what the battles are showing up, it's little fights and the hitting the creeps that really matters.
Yeah. Just some better movement, better distribution of resources too. It's really just, I mean, Gabby's farming. Gabby's got the S and Y. But you see Armel has completely stagnated on the Razor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the panel was mentioning it too. It's like the Razor. Like, Razor's gotten buffed, of course. It's a hero that now has a lot more potential, but it still can hit that same kind of like that brick wall as a Razor's. You have a great game, you die once or twice, and your game's just done.
The slowdown here onto Tim's, this support that did so much in the early game, and they're going to throw out the finger here. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. Innocence might have gone too far yet again. But it looks like Tim's might die to this Undying Tombstone, and Faith Beyond jumps in. Avatos connecting here on Armel. He's just gone as well. So far, 2 for 1. It's pretty good for EHOME as they take the lead, and now tossing forward yet again onto that line. They kill off Ninja Boogie.
Every time I see Faith Beyond, he has a rune. He had an arcane rune during that fight too. So even more spells being able to get tossed out. I think did the zombies last hit both of those? Yeah, they did. But again, Armel shows up, and it's a Razor getting walked in and just getting Ava comboed.
Yeah. I mean, it's that weird moment where it's like drums to sort of get that movement speed, stay alive, but really you need the BKB. And if you go the BKB, then you're not really doing much in the fights.
Yeah. Almost feels like he needs it. Almost feels like maybe even like a Hood would have been a pretty decent option versus all this magic burst that's coming out. But he wants to also have the potential to, you know, be a right-clicker as well, too.
Yeah.
It is tough. And this Deuce is just getting, I mean, ASD is getting all the space in the world.
No more runes for you. Faith Beyond caught for the moment, but is he going to be able to walk away at about half HP? Looks like he is eventually going to be taken down. That's a big kill, and immediately into Roche. EHOME are here, though.
They've got a Vlad's on the Underlord. They've got the tag team, too, which is going to make it quite a bit faster, but EHOME has placed down the Tombstone.
Scary stuff. A big battle of Bruin. They are already getting some zombies spawned. Sense walking forward. They already take down that Undying.
He pulled them at, like, I think he did that, like, intentionally just running up there, pulling the Terrorblade out of the pit. Like, Meta's only got a quarter left on it. They're popping the drum. They're trying to force this.
This is dangerous. They're sending in the Visage Birds as well. They're already, the first one dead. A good Earth Spike goes in already from the get-go. Rio's down to low HP. They're going to pop the Medusa ulti and try and walk into the middle of everybody. Armel having to back away. The jump in. Faith Beyond, find him. The Avatos. He's taking down Roche. He snatched the Aegis, though, from Gabby. So they're able to get it, and the Sunder gets off as well. Gabby might be able to do enough here. And with that Chain Frost bouncing back and forth, TNC do it.
Oh, my God. The Chain Frost just did so much damage. The Sunder into Chain Frost. Perfect. And he gets the Aegis, too.
I mean, they didn't get the last hit on Roche, but that's fine. It looks good from Faith Beyond. But
I think he got, he got like trapped in the pit or something for a second, because he popped the DD through the stun, toss, and everything, but just wasn't quite there to finish off the TB. And Dusa not able to get in the midst of it all. Still a 3K gold lead for EHOME, but TNC, they didn't lose the Aegis, and that ends up somehow working out for them. That looked so scary for a second.
That's nutty.
Especially with the 3-man Earth Spike into the familiar stun.
Yeah.
The Lion getting killed there, though, and them not having that little bit extra. If they had the finger, if he was able to actually get it off. Wasn't, of course, he walked in and got focused heavily.
I mean, again, the plus side of this is, you know, EHOME, to me, don't feel like the team that's on the timer. They have a Medusa, I guess in a way, because, like, Visage sort of feels weird late game, but, well, he also feels weird late game if he's just getting killed off here in the jungle. It doesn't feel good if you're that.
Nope.
Lack of survivability. And
the
birds,
they can get both.
Oh.
They've got the extra hit.
They're smoking up with the other 3 now. Do they want to try and take this fight? What's going on here? It's just baiting the Dusa.
TNC is looking to force movement back. They're breaching.
They won't have meta, but they still do a lot of damage. And they have Underlord ulti, too. This might be that moment for the toss plays you were talking about if they do pop Dark Rift.
I mean, that's a meta force. This tower is going down.
Okay, they do have it. Back up again. Ava toss down low, done. That's only the Aegis, but he's going to be coming back in a second. Faith Beyond down to about 2/3 HP. They're going to pop that Stone Gaze and trying to walk away. Gabby yet again. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. Innocence is already dead. Tim's just runs into the midst of all of them and trying to find a kill. They get the Sunder, and now ASD needs to just whack away. Reflection does too much damage. Faith Beyond, toss forward, trying to kill off Armel. There is a horde of undead chasing down all of TNC, and Armel is just going to have to give up his life for the cause, and maybe more of them. Lich walks forward, trying to make sure that Rior and the Terrorblade can get out. So they lose 3, and, well, they did get that tier 3 tower at least.
Again, a great Sunder and a pretty decent Chain Frost. It actually bounced a lot on the creeps and all that there, but Yeah, a little bit of a overextension. They get punished. They were like, oh, we got the Sunder and the Dusa. Try to get, oh my god, zombies. Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Definitely have to be careful. The Lion also, Tianming got the instant hex as soon as the Terrorblade revives, so it puts him in a little bit of an awkward spot for his team. But they do claim the tier 3.
Yeah.
Bounty runes now.
Another one of these sort of tough moments, I think, as the game goes on later is going to be when you get that reflection cooldown for Terrorblade, because then you can't just manta it off as easily for Dusa.
Yep. And it also, I mean, it's pretty painful because Dusa is one of those where, you know, you split shot and everything. If your teammates are next to you and there's a reflection going on, you might just kill your Lion by accident.
So 20 minutes in, 16 to 14. And Dusa, top of the net worth.
Thing is that we were mentioning, though, it's TB, the reflection, all good, especially versus the Dusa. My big issue that I'm seeing is still, look at Armel.
Yeah.
7,000 net worth on the Razor. He's going to be going for that Solar Crest into the BKB.
Okay.
Which will make him, I mean, when he has both, he's going to be pretty tanky and pretty reliable to just run in frontline for his Terrorblade. But the scaling factor, I mean, the Tiny, the Deuce, and the Visage are just doing a little bit better across the board.
And they're the type of heroes that feel like they can do more in the fights. Obviously, if you get a link off on Dusa, that changes things around a lot. Yep. But could be an issue. That'd be kind of interesting if you get the link on Dusa and her reflection starts doing more damage than she does.
Yeah, that's true. I actually thought ASD might have gone for the next item for the Hurricane Pike because he got the Lance to get that like distance, but they don't have any way to push him away from the link. But it almost feels like they don't really mind. Like if Armel just runs in and tries to link the Dusa, he's dead. It feels like he's just gonna get comboed, get all the spells thrown at him.
Yeah, at least until BKB. Like
until
maybe
BKB
changes things.
Yeah,
but
maybe BKB. Then we'll see the Hurricane Pike get switched up, get added in there for the Dusa because she's just going for that butterfly, which she almost actually has.
You know the other thing that's kind of cool about the...
Actually, she does. She wants to get it.
This might actually have to wait for a second, as it looks like the wraparound is coming right now from TNC. The only one not in this group is the Tusk, who's heading over that direction towards the mid. Another smoke up coming. ASD, he's the one that's going to reveal himself. The instant Earth Spike coming out, though. And can they bring down this Terrorblade in time before the Sunder comes off in time? Gabby trying to get it off. He does fall. Big kill there, no buyback, and it looks like the rest of TNC just need to get the hell out of there. They've already lost the Razor as well, so the 2 cores going down, and Tim's is going to fall. Disaster in the river.
Ego just standing there in the front lines waiting for his team. Great chain CC. Onto that Terrorblade. Also gets hit by like a Mystic Snake and loses all of his mana instantly.
Yeah, that was really rough.
It was like perfect positioning by EHOME there. Just having that there, they get the Stone Gaze off too. Armel can't even walk into the fight, just gets stoned and died.
A toss back now, and from bad to worse, they're going to lose the Underlord, the main D pusher, and for 45 seconds, he's going to have buyback now. As it looks like with Terrorblade respawning, they might be able to make something happen here.
They used meta in the last fight, though. Yeah. It's on cooldown for 100 seconds.
It's really tough to make anything work. And the Pit of Malice down. They're trying to catch ASD. They can maybe keep him under control. The shards are there as well. They've already lost the Lich, though, but they might be able to bring down this Dusa. She's still caught in the moment. And it looks like now they're eventually going to have to back out.
Yeah, she lost a lot of damage to resetting.
Well, a tier 3 tower taken for both teams.
Yeah.
But it's a 10,000 gold lead for EHOME.
I feel like it's pretty rare that I've been seeing Solar Crest picked up, and I love this item right now in the patch, just the way it's been changed. It's more expensive, but it's interesting because it provides so much now. There's like attack speed it can provide, like movement speed. There's so many weird things now that people don't really consider with it.
Well, and the thing I think is when you've got a central hero to your draft like the Medusa, getting it and throwing it on her, giving her that extra 70 attack speed feels really good.
Yeah. I mean, Visage is one of the ones that still buys it like pretty much every time, but yeah. It's an item that I still do really like. It's hard to get now on your supports. It's just so expensive.
Yeah. So 24 minutes in, 16 to 19.
10K gold.
Yeah, it's EHOME in a really good position. That Roche fight just...
Yeah. And the experience, too. Just I mean, it's been a lot of the fights, but also the way that they played a lot of that early game, right? It was 4 heroes or 3 heroes running around making stuff happen, while Dusa just hit Ancients.
Yeah. Yeah, true enough. I thought after the Roche fight it was going to get a little bit better for him, but yeah, no such luck.
And look at ASD. Look at ASD. He's like, I don't... Scotty? No, I don't need Scotty. I've queued up a second butterfly.
Oh, my God.
they're looking to go for this high ground again.
I mean, why not, right?
Force that reaction back. Did they see the Underlord not in position just yet?
I don't know if they can deal with Medusa at this point. She's got the level 20 talent, 700 mana. It's feeling more and more difficult to take any type of fight when they're in position. And they are in position. They've got the Solar Crest buff on the Medusa, hitting it so quickly. Sending out the illusions afterwards. You see, go for the resummon.
And Faith Beyond also, he sees like mid-waves kind of push, so he walks towards the mid-wave while they're pushing top, kills the whole creep wave just to, you know, kind of fix their lanes, because their lanes are, you know, the other two lanes are in a pretty bad spot for EHOME. So they've got to go fix that, pick up these bounties. But they've taken out, yeah, two of those tier 3 towers already. And they're getting so much out of it, like 14,000 gold lead. And Armel, you know, we were talking about how he stagnated a while ago. He's still pretty much at the same thing. He's finished the Solar Crest, but you don't feel that strength coming out from him, even if with this. It's just, what does that really provide for him? He really needs BKB.
It feels like there needs to be some type of a change in the philosophy here from TNC, because if they just let Medusa walk up and do that again, the exact same thing is going to happen.
Yeah. But what is it, though? They're in a tough spot.
Right.
The Underlord and the Razor aren't farming well. It's pretty much just the Terrorblade farming, and Terrorblade can't carry this by himself.
And Medusa has her second butterfly.
Oh, my. And queued up a third one.
This is the new build, ladies and gents.
Yeah,
Just
they have to run,
butterflies.
though. Look at the reflection. They actually, the other heroes have to move away from that reflection.
Oh, my God. All right. I mean, she hits really, really fast.
She sure does, especially with Solar Crest thrown on top.
It's an insane amount of damage. You normally think like BKB or something, right?
Nah.
Like, replace a Wraith Band. Get a BKB
Third
in
butterfly.
there.
Let's go. No, he's just like, what's going to kill him
Yeah.
in this game? Their damage is a little weird on the side of TNC, right? It's like their magic damage and their physical, they have this percentage one, but the TB and the Razor trying to do damage versus a Medusa is like impossible.
All right, well, they thought about going on Faith Beyond, but ASD is up front center in the middle of everybody. This fight could go terribly, but the Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. It's starting to do a good bit, and the Stone Gaze is kind of going to wear off here, and EHOME's in a precarious position as they're somewhat separated. Innocence, the one that's going to get gone after first, but EHOME is up on the high ground, and now TNC may be in a bad position themselves. So they are going to have to take this fight very carefully. Undying could buy back, but he'd have to get through all of TNC to make it happen. The Pit of Malice is down already. Now the Firestorm to follow. ASD still at very high HP and mana. The turn now comes. Tim's no mana left on him at all, so he can't snowball to try and live through this one as the birds are on top of him. ASD starting to get laid into by the Terrorblade, and Gabby is able to find two. He takes down another. ASD is doing nothing in this fight at all. Faith Beyond trying to keep him alive, but I mean, he's missing a lot because he's got two butterflies, but triple kill for Gabby.
Oh my goodness. That positioning there, just they threw down their Tombstone and their Stone Gaze and just couldn't actually take the fight properly. They don't have people to actually keep them in it. Oh my.
And if you have two butterflies, you know what's a good item? MKB. And Terrorblade has it.
Yeah, he's got it. He didn't have it before that fight, but now he does. And Faith Beyond walks in and will also die.
Medusa doesn't have buyback. 60 seconds.
That's a Roche. Well, Armel was able to get 2 full links on the Medusa in that fight, too. It's massive. Actually wasn't getting bursted down this time. So that's Aegis and Cheese now. What a... All right, turn of events.
I mean...
Look at that swing on the graph, too. I mean, it doesn't show yet, so we'll wait a little bit. But it's going to swing. It's pretty big.
I believe you. But yeah, MKB coming out on the courier right now for Gabby. They're still dead for 30 seconds on Dusa. Don't know if they can really get that much done, although the creeps are in the top lane. They're going to start to put some pressure on here with the Aegis. The Tusk TP's home?
They're going to rift back, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they come in with everybody.
This is an Aegis and Cheese push now. This is pretty intimidating. Now they can do the same thing as you were talking about in the Dusa. Solo crest the Terrorblade.
Yeah. The danger part, of course, is that they don't have the Dark Rift to get out. So if the Tombstone is going to be dropped, suddenly you don't have a way out. You just need to be able to either take this fight or get out of there. And now they pull back in Gabby. Aegis is dead. TNC, what do you do at this point? Are you going to leave your Terrorblade completely alone?
I don't think you can help him there.
And you can see it feels really bad. And actually, Tim's is going to lose his life.
He was going to try to go for some type of snowball, blink snowball.
Oh, and they break the TP of Armel.
Oh, my God.
from bad to worse. TNC just can't get away from fights when they fight up here in this top lane.
Can they actually catch the speedy Razor, though?
Oh, they're looking for him, and the Earth Spike comes out. They have the Hex to follow up, and Faith Beyond ends the fun, so...
They lost the melee Rex, but they get a pretty big kill there with that tossback from Faith Beyond, putting this Terrorblade in absolute no man's land.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now, 30 minutes, and we're seeing yet again one of those sort of very back-and-forth types of games.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the Lions build, too. The Blink Force early on here.
Yeah.
It's been able to get a lot out of this map so far.
You can probably get Ninja Boogie here.
Oh.
Running around the Rosy a little bit. The next Hex and Stun should be able to get him once he steals more mana. Ah, they're throwing the tomb. No juking for you, Ninja Boogie.
Oh, get that damage. Immediate buyback.
And the base.
Toss back. Rior, seen it a couple times from him. He's in
Oh
some
my
trouble.
God, he's just dead.
Okay,
the dude's
no buyback.
Too much damage.
Wait, he's going to have buyback back up in 7 seconds. He might have the gold for it as the melee barracks is going to go down. And, I mean, Faith Beyond is looking. He could jump in again if he wants to here. Another tossback could be another kill. He's thinking about it. Ah, he's within range anyways, that sentry.
There you go. There's your BKB you wanted on the Dota. Still hasn't gone for her own Hurricane Pike. She does have 2 Force Staffs on her team, though, to try to push her away from the Razor.
Yeah. So 31 minutes, 14,000 gold lead, and EHOME, after a little bit of a kerfuffle, able to pull it back now.
Yeah, they're still fine.
Yeah. I mean,
losing that melee Rex hurts, but
you were talking about
much.
it at the end of last game that it felt like EHOME were kind of in control from early on, and you felt like maybe they were just getting a little bit too cavalier with their play last time.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing here, maybe.
Similar. Last game I looked and I was pretty confident in the Shadow Fiend and like the 2 cores that they had versus the AM, but they were making like a lot of mistakes. It seemed like they were just comfortable. They're like, yeah, we can go to the late game. It's okay.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, it's kind of feeling a bit similar here.
Yeah.
Because they're probably like, we've got so much farm on our 3 cores, and they're probably clicking on Armel and thinking the same thing. It's just a Terrorblade really that they have to worry about.
Right.
So they're getting so much farm, and yeah, now ASD he's got an inventory full. Of course, he's got the Hurricane Pike finally queued up.
Okay. I do like the 2 butterflies though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks a little. He just looks kind of squishy, right? Like without the Scotty,
Yeah.
your HP looks low. And like when he gets Hurricane Pike, he's like max until he gets Moon Shard. So he's got to start like replacing stuff soon.
Dire are scanning.
Maybe just get rid of the treads. See. Top lane is still, of course, the momentum going in TNC's side.
Looks like ASD is going to reveal that he was smoked up there, and 3 other heroes behind him. Top lane, split pushing coming from Tim's. Doing whatever he can, trying to get towards, I would imagine maybe a Spirit Vessel next for the Tusk. Let's see if that's the route he wants to go. But 7 split shots targets for the Medusa.
He doesn't have any modifiers
right?
anyway, right? I guess he literally didn't go for any modifiers this game, so.
Yeah. Kind of cool against all the TB illusions. I mean, how often are there going to be that many targets?
It's 10 extra.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's a lot.
What if the bonus ones hit people twice? That would be broken.
That's not a thing. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any modifiers, so it's like, why would he go for the other one?
Yeah.
If he goes for a modifier after this, I know especially Dominic will be really upset, but it looks he's queuing up a rapier, so that's not a modifier.
No. It does modify how much damage you do.
This is, yes.
It increases it.
This is true. TNC still all kind of. They're still playing like very poised around each other, and they're looking to go for a kill here. Gabby gets tossed back.
Again, it happens, but the BKB, the turn, in some trouble now maybe. They're seeing if they can do it. Gabby now instead going to have to turn and run away. Snowball, keeping them all alive. The Chain Frost is still going there for the moment, and now the walkway is the whole duration of the BKB from Gabby, though, and also not going to BKB. The jump in, able to find it. Can they kill him off in time? Yes. Terrorblade dead, no buyback. He's 500 gold away. And now TNC truly in trouble as Tim's just wants to drag this creep wave past. But I don't think it's going to end up working out for them that well as
They even
move in and get the kill.
They even glyph the wave to make sure they can keep putting this pressure on.
They know their win condition, and they are going to be able to just walk down this lane. They might think the Terrorblade has buyback because he hasn't had to yet, but considering that he's not now at this point, as EHOME are storming the base, it looks like this could be just about the end of it.
Yeah,
GG called.
Oh, and they tip Armel right before they kill him again, too. Yeah, I mean, it felt like Armel's game just completely stopped, right?
Yeah.
He got a couple good links off in that one fight that they were able to turn a bit there, but yeah, the Razor just felt, it just still feels like it's that hero where you have to be really keeping the ball rolling, because as soon as you stop, if you make any type of mistakes, this hero just, yeah, like I said, hits a brick wall and you feel pretty useless.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this final series here of the day. EHOME taking it 2-0 over TNC. We're going to head back now to the panel, see what their thoughts were about that game number 2.